it's Denny Kelts again with Top Dog Sales Training. In this video, I'm gonna break down the top mistakes that most new car salespeople make and how you can avoid them, okay? So the reason why I wanted to go through this is because I've been in the automotive industry for quite a long time and I've just seen so many people come and go in sales. And regardless of how good your leadership team is, there's always going to be people that they're just not following the process. They're just not getting the job done. And then unfortunately, you just have to let them go, right? And if you're new to car sales, you don't want to be one of those people. You want to be one of those people who's a testimony for, the dealership and for people to get into sales because they're like, damn, you know what? Sales changed my life. And that's who you want to be. So watch the whole video. Hopefully you can get some value out of it, especially if you're new to car sales. Then this is really good to just pay attention to because it's almost like you're focusing on the things that you don't want to do. So you'll be subconsciously kind of paying attention to those little things, okay? So the first thing that I put is new salespeople is they don't follow the process, right? So they got to understand that there's a process put in place for a reason. So the process is put in place basically to increase the probability of closing a sale. So I remember, for instance, like when I first started in sales, like I was so to the process, it was like almost overkill and too much. Like sometimes like I would almost like I'm forcing customers to do something that like they didn't even come in for, right? So, but when you're new, like there's nothing wrong with that. Like it's actually good. Like what I would do, I remember, is like we had a process like for the meet and greet, the dealership tour, and then, when you're qualifying the customer, and then you got to bring them to your desk and you pull out the guest sheet and you start qualifying and interviewing them and asking them questions and getting information. And I just remember one time specifically, there's one guy, he only came in for a little bit of information. He only just wanted a brochure, stuff like that. But I was so new and I was pushing so hard on the process. I just remember just trying to force him to go through the interview and qualifying sheets, so I'd get his phone number and go through everything. But like, he wasn't at that stage. But because I followed the process all the time, that diligently, like I ended up being my top salesman, like the top salesman my fourth month in the industry. And my third month, I made 23 grand. And like, I've never made that kind of money before. This is when I first started in sales. So following the process is something you need to focus on. So don't not follow the process. Even if it seems tedious and seems kind of, like, oh, I don't know about that step. Don't skip any of the steps. Just stick to every single step and it's going to make a big difference and it's just going to increase your probability of closing those deals. Okay? The next one here I put, spend time with the wrong coworkers. So you're spending time with the wrong people. You're spending time with the people who are negative. They're not pushing you. They're complaining about things. You don't want to be in a circle of negativity, right? They call it go to the watering hole where everybody's just complaining about this customer, complaining about this deal. You got to stay away from those people. Stick right next to whoever the most positive, most successful people are in the dealership. And by proximity, you're going to start to become more like them. But if you surround yourself with the wrong coworkers, and look, anywhere you work, there's going to be the wrong coworkers, right? Unfortunately, that's just the nature of being a human being. That's reality, right? The 99% of people are sheep. That's just reality, right? That's not me being a dick. I'm just being straight up. Like that's just how it is. That's how people are, right? So they're just gonna follow along and complain and live a very mediocre life that they're unsatisfied with, which at the end of the day, you don't want to live like that. I don't want to live like that. So don't do that. Don't spend time with those kind of people. Okay, it's a waste of your energy. You only have so much energy. And you have so much energy, you just want to put it with other positive people so that you're going to just attract more positivity in your life, okay? That's it. Another thing is new car salespeople is they don't do any extra training, right? So we'll have people that come in and they do the training that they're supposed to do. Like, oh, okay, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to work on. Have this, course done. Have this hack training done. Make sure you learn the process. Make sure you learn the product. Like, we're going to test you on this. And then they'll do all that, which is great. But that's all they're going to do. They don't take extra time outside of work to study their craft. They're not reading books on sales. They're not watching YouTube videos on different sales training and mindset development and stuff like that. So they're not doing anything extra basically outside of work, okay? The clock in, clock out, right? So that's another thing. Like, I remember when I first started in sales, like, there was no, I'm clocking in, I'm clocking out. I'm there first thing in the morning, and I'm there till whatever time we're closing up shop, right? So when I worked at the Nissan store when I first started there, I remember it was like we would start at 8 o'clock, and I would be there from 8 o'clock till we would close at 9 o'clock. And so when we would close at 9 o'clock, so like that's like what, a 13-hour shift, right? That's a long day. And I would do that like 6 days a week. But I was so obsessed with trying to be successful in sales. So that's another thing. You gotta not worry about just clocking in and clocking out, right? If you really want to be successful, you're gonna have to become obsessed with it. You gotta be obsessed with it, which means outside of work, I'm talking about car sales. Oh my God, this is what we were doing today. I was talking to this customer. You're constantly, it's going on in your head all the time. It's like you almost can't sleep because you're just thinking about car sales. You're thinking about sales. Oh man, I just want to kill it. I want to crush it. I have some new word tracks. I want to do some more training. I got to get more customers. I got to start prospecting more. What can I do to come up with some of my own customers? Should I go door to door in my neighborhood and give out my card, seeing how I just started at the dealership, just so they all know? My neighbors all know me anyways. They see me all the time, right? Anything like that. You got to be creative, okay? I put victim mentality, which I mean it's the same kind of thing as hanging out with the wrong coworkers, because this is a mistake you don't want to make. You don't want to find yourself in a victim mentality circumstance where you're always blaming other people for your circumstances and for things that didn't go your way. Oh man, I'm not getting enough leads. Oh man, nobody's helping me. Okay, but you got to seek some help then. That's what you got to do. You got to seek help from other people. And if you don't have anybody in your dealership that can help you, well then guess what? You're going to have to find somebody online. And there's digital mentors that you can find. There's people online that are nowhere near you, but they can still help you throughout the process and help you become successful. Because if your management team, if your coworkers, if they're not pushing you to be the best version of yourself, you don't want to be around those people anyways, right? Because you want to be around people that have an abundance mindset, not a weak-ass victim mentality, because that shit is not how you want to roll, okay? And the last one that I put is the biggest mistake that they make is they don't take care of themselves outside of work. So they don't realize that the more they work on themselves, the stronger their ability to be successful in sales is going to be. Everything is going to start from self. If you can lead yourself to being in good shape, to having more energy, to strengthening your mindset, to picking up all the word tracks, doing everything you can, waking up early, being more disciplined, putting the right fuel into your body so you have more energy, getting enough rest to make sure that when you come to work, you're on point and you're sharp when you're talking to customers, because that's another thing. Like, your mind has to be sharp. You can't be going and partying on the weekend. You got nothing to celebrate. You just started in sales. You're not celebrating anything on the weekend, okay? Wait till you've made some success in your sales career, then go and celebrate a little bit. And if you want to have, a few drinks or whatever, that's totally fine. But make sure it's something that you've earned. So don't get into the bad habits of somebody who doesn't take care of themselves outside of work. Because the more you take care of yourself outside of work, when you come in and work, you're going to be on point, okay? So I hope this video helps. I hope you can pick up some of these top mistakes and just stay away from them as much as you can. Maybe just think about them. If you just start, oh man, am I hanging out with these guys at the watering hole? I got to stay away from those guys. Whatever it's going to take, hopefully it can get into your head. And do me a favor, hit like, hit subscribe, maybe throw in a comment if you got any type of value out of this. I'd appreciate it. And subscribe and follow for more.